Hey, it's Katrina with An Addict Speaks, and please forgive me. I tried to eliminate all the sounds I could in the background. I noticed the last video was really, really bad. I live out in the country, and everyone out here thinks that they are a NASCAR driver. God bless them. But it does make for, it's very hard at times to get silence. You would think that you'd get that out in the country. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, and then in addition, it's not that I'm technologically challenged. I'm just technology deprived right now. But you know what? It's the message that counts. So I wanted to. I've got a lot to say, and I tend to get a lot of thoughts late at night when everybody's asleep, and it's not the most ideal time to jump up, get dressed, and get prepared. I like to do everything just sort of in the spur of the moment, find it's more authentic, and it also gets it's getting easier, but it's still, I don't think I'll ever get used to talking to a phone or even social media. I just have such a whatever about it, but it's what we call a necessary evil. But anyway, one of the thoughts that has come up over and over again, I've written about it, and I wanted to mention, I'm sure I'll, piss off someone, but I have to be truthful. And so here it goes, is on the idea of when those of us who were addicted prior, or whatever it is in life that you overcame, a challenge that you overcame, find enlightenment, we have a tendency to be so excited about, I'm going to put it that way, because I believe that's the case most of the time, so excited about that enlightenment that we want to share it with others. And unfortunately, in doing so, it comes across a little bit condescending, a little bit like, we think we're know-it-alls or whatever. And some of that, probably a lot of it, is perception on the part of whoever it is viewing it. But sometimes it's, either you're picking up on something from that person, or it's just the excitement from the person who is trying to convey what they've learned. But what I believe is revelation, enlightenment is very individual. There is a universal awareness, that sort of everybody shares a, insight on certain things, or almost everyone. And then there is individual enlightenment, and every person has their own life experiences, and they're just going to see things differently, and what's enlightenment for someone isn't for someone else. I like to share what I know to save someone that might be able to use that information, save them trouble or whatever. But that doesn't mean it's going to fit everyone, and it doesn't mean that I know everything or I know anything, really. I just know from where I've been, and I kind of wish that we could maybe come across this differently. You don't come from a bad experience and overcome and gain more ego. The whole idea is to have less ego, and it is a very fine line, and that is part of the reason that I've struggled for so long, because I'm still going to have people that are going to judge me until I die. I'll be 80 years old, and that's just the way it is, someone who says, I was in jail with her. I'm like, oh my God. Before I would have been just so annoyed. Now I'm like, oh wow. Wasn't that a toothpaste, we were smelling pretty funky. Or someone who's, I don't know, went to school with you, whatever it is that they think they know about you. And you just say, oh wow, isn't that amazing? Wow, look from the dump I was in to where I am now. Isn't that remarkable? I mean, just shrug it off, because I do. But the truth is, we have to be humble. And you can be less ego while having a good self-esteem. It's a fine line, but you can do it. And so what we do is I have to remind myself every day, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for my daughter. I'm doing it to save lives. And I'm doing it because it's what God had in store for me, I believe. So, Make your message of recovery or your enlightenment message something that someone can relate to or doesn't feel that you're talking down to them. When talk about how Trump won or whatever, I get it. I get it. People don't want to be told that they're dummies or that they have no sense of awareness or whatever. They've been through what they've been through, and you don't get to tell them what that is and what they should have learned or what they haven't learned, if that makes sense. So that's all I had to say on that subject. Moving on to the next. You guys have a good afternoon. Thank you.